Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
It goes back to, I think, my family. You know, my parents worked extremely hard throughout their entire lives. You know, my brothers have worked hard throughout their entire lives. I don't think that I get to where I was if I wasn't born in Scranton. Honestly, like if I wasn't from Northeast PA, I don't think I'm able to do what I did mentally at Penn State. You know, be able to do what I did mentally at the Oakland Raiders. Right, just that tough mentality, bring your lunch pail, go to work every single day, that blue collar mentality, right? To continue to fight for what you want, fight for what you believe in, man.
Today, I'm chatting with Matt McGloin, Scranton native and former Penn State, NFL, and XFL quarterback. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On the Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. This episode is brought to you by Blue Door Financial. Blue Door Financial will help you save money and reduce taxes to live a fuller financial life. To learn more, visit Blue Door Financial online at BLUdoorfinancial.com. That's BLUdoorfinancial.com. What's up, podcast episode 107 of the On the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door studio. Welcome to the show, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, when you told me to bring a prop, I wasn't sure what to bring, dude. So I hope my helmets were good enough. And,
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to be on the show. It took us a little while to get here.
Yeah.
You know, and to schedule something. But this is fun, man. I'm looking forward to this. Is an awesome setup you have here.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, but also before we start, we got to give our mutual friend, Bob Courtwright, a shout out for helping make this happen. The master networker himself, Bob Courtwright, made the introduction. So
I should have brought golf clubs and a cigar like Bob did.
Yeah, you should have.
Bob, if you're listening, I feel like that's all you do this day. All you do to this day is smoke cigars and play golf.
Yeah, seriously. What a life. What a life the guy's living.
It's incredible. It really is, yeah.
Yeah, so, oh man, I feel like we got a lot to talk about. You know, I know a lot of people that know me know I'm a Penn State alum. Obviously, I you and I spent the same time at Penn State together, except I was in the stands and you were on the field. So, but yeah, it was really cool to watch you, and it's cool to sit down with you now and just learn a little bit about your playing career and then life after football. So
yeah,
let's kind of maybe take it back a little to Scranton. You're a Scranton guy growing up. Yeah. How did what was, and obviously football's been a big part of your life forever. So how did it get started?
I've played football since I was 5, which is crazy because at that I had 2 older brothers, so when I was 5, that's stage of, playing, I was more like dressing up and, just at practice. But I don't know, man, for as long as I can remember, I just always wanted to be around sports. I played baseball, basketball, football my entire life. And I always loved, football ended, next day I was at basketball. Basketball ended, next day I was at baseball. I never enjoyed taking time off. I loved staying busy. I loved competing. I loved trying to get better. Yeah, it was just, it was a competitive house.
Yeah.
Because I'm 32 years old right now. My older brothers are 39 and 45.
So you were the baby.
I was, yeah. So growing up with brothers that are older like that, I was always trying to tag along and, compete with those guys. And man, they always let me play. You know what I mean?
So you played with the big boys.
I learned at a young age, man. I had to try to scratch and claw to compete, and just to play. And, that's where I learned how to play, all those sports, man. So I was, again, very lucky that, I grew up with two awesome brothers, two supportive brothers, but also ones that are letting their brother that's, 13 or 7 years younger than them play with them. Man.
Yeah, yeah. So did you grow up a Penn State fan?
I didn't.
No,
I didn't. I think a lot of people think that. Like I did.
Yeah.
What's funny? What's funny about Northeast PA is you're either a Penn State fan or you're a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of Raiders fans here as well.
There are,
which is awesome. I feel like the Raiders and Penn State are kind of similar in a way. It's like wherever you go,
people
they
follow.
I'm a Penn State fan. I'm a Raiders fan. It's crazy. The fan bases that Penn State has throughout the country, and even the Raiders have throughout the country. I grew up a Notre Dame fan. I did.
So what was that like, growing up a Notre Dame fan, then going to Penn State?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have many options. It wasn't like schools were knocking at the door saying, hey, Matt, you want to come play football for us? I didn't have a lot of options. And Penn State gave me that opportunity. No one else would. Joe Paterno gave me that opportunity. No one else would. And that was to come down, be a part of the Penn State football program, try to earn a scholarship, try to play and compete on a daily basis. And that's all I was looking for was an opportunity.
Yeah, so what was that like? So you were a walk-on. Explain that.
Yeah, it was hard. I'm pretty sure majority of the team didn't even know I was a football player. At the time, you see, our walk-ons, our preferred walk-ons, our scholarship guys are all treated the same, things like that. That's what schools tell you, when they're recruiting you, but you're not. Man, it's an uphill battle. It really is, and that was again the only opportunity I had to play big-time Division I football. There's nothing wrong with playing 1AA, Division II, Division III, JUCO, whatever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I wanted to do. Talking about playing sports with my brothers, like I remember, pretending in the backyard that you played for Michigan or Florida State or somewhere like that. You know what I mean, man? So I always had those dreams, playing in front of 100,000. Saturday afternoons at our house, watching ESPN, watching ABC, watching those games, and just thinking, yeah, I'm going to get there. And it was never like, you know what I mean? It was always like, I'm going to get there. Like, I'm going to get there one day. One day I'll get there. That was always the goal. That was always the dream. And when they gave me that chance, I'm like, I got to take it. My mom, and again, man, I've been blessed to have two fantastic parents, supportive parents who were at every game and every camp I had to go to and all were always there for me. My mom always said, never have any regrets. Right. I don't to this day. I'm very happy with the way my career was. I'd like to think I made the most out of any opportunity I was given or anywhere I was, from Penn State to Oakland to Philly to Houston, Kansas City, XFL. I like to think I made the most out of what God gave me. But that was it with Penn State. It's like, here's your chance. You got to go. And the first thing for me was earning respect because nobody knew who I was. Nobody was promoting me. Right? Nobody knew Matt McGloin's a 5-star, 4-star recruit. He had 50 offers. We had to beg him to come here. It wasn't like that. It's like, you're coming here because you can't go anywhere else. So did it by hard work in the film room, on the practice field, in the weight room. If I made a good pass, you were going to hear about it. I was a self-promoter in a way because nobody promoted me. So slowly people started to recognize, like, Matty McGloin can throw the ball a little bit. This guy's working his tail off for us. Slowly got more and more opportunities. People started to recognize, and then it was like, all right, we're going to put you on scholarship. Now it's expected. And that's obviously where it became a lot more difficult physically, mentally, because you've achieved what you set out to do, but that's just the beginning. Now
you got to really perform.
Yeah.
Better. So you got that.
It's expected now. It's expected out of you.
Right. All right. So you got that scholarship, and then like what next? Like what was that? What was that change? You said the pressure and the mentality. And all
I used to have like a list in my drawer. Right. When I first got there, and I forced myself to look at it every day. Right. Earn a scholarship, become the starting quarterback at Penn State. Right. It was like it's like a process. Like, this is what you have to do. These are what the goals are. Right, become a captain, become a leader, things like that.
So you wrote down these goals.
Yeah. There's, like I said, 4 or 5. Like I said, it was earn a scholarship, become a starter, win football games, become a captain, be a leader, like stuff like that. Just constant reminders every single day of what I was there for. Because, man, like when you're waking up at 5:30 a.m. and you're going to a workout where you know the workout's going to be terrible. You know, like, it's you second guess yourself. You do. Like, do you think yourself, like, was this worth it? Like, what am I doing? Why
Did you have a lot of those
every
points?
day? Yeah, like every day. Like, it's like, but dude, you just continue to push, you know, because you know you believe, you hope that it's going to be worth it, right? You don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. You know, so that's like, and that we were talking, you know, before the show started, like I miss the grind right now.
Yeah, tell me about that. You said about the grind and the schedule.
Yeah, I miss the schedule. I miss the grind. I miss, you know, the feeling of waking up every morning and competing and wanting to get better as a player and compete against guys in the weight room, on the film, or in the film room, on the practice field. So that competition, like, that doesn't go away. So that's definitely what I miss, you know, about playing and about the game. You know, and I'm glad I still have that passion, that fire, that energy for the game, because I'm doing a lot of work in radio and doing a lot of work some work in broadcasting now, hoping to get more work there. But just trying to stay involved with the game, man. Like, I been around a lot of great players, around a lot of great coaches. So I feel like I have a lot of knowledge for the game that I'd love to share.
Yeah. So, all right. So, tell me a little bit about your experience at Penn State. You know, the last couple of years, say that you started.
Yeah.
And I was telling you before we started the show that Joe Pa's 400th win. I was up in the stands. I was in the S zone senior year. It was a really cool thing. So, like, what are some of your favorite memories of playing in Beaver Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to top the 400th win, especially the way it played out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, like, I started the week before against Michigan.
And you didn't start that game, right?
I started the Michigan game. I didn't start the 400th game.
You didn't start that game. Yeah, they put you in down 21-0.
You know, it's
right?
Like, it goes, so it went back, like, the start of the year. Like, there was a quarterback competition, right, between myself and two other guys.
Yeah.
I felt like I won the competition. Absolutely. Like, throughout the spring, I felt I won it. Throughout training camp, I felt I won it. Somehow, week one, I end up third on the depth chart. Yeah, like, to this day, I have no clue why I was there. Never got an explanation for it. It was just like, all right, you're third. We're just going to place you here. And so, like, that was hard, right? But our starter got hurt during the Minnesota game, right? And that's, look, I don't care who you are. I don't care what sport you play. You never want to get your job by another player being injured, right? I've always just wanted to get my job because I'm the best at that position, right? But our starter got hurt, and they put me in the game. We're at Minnesota. I threw a couple of touchdown passes. We end up winning the game. And then they're like, all right, you're going to start next week against Michigan. And it was a night game, my first start. And, like, the way Penn State, I don't know what they do to this day, what their traditions are now. Like, but, we used to stay at Toftrees. We would take the bus in to the Lash building, get our uniforms on there, and then we'd bus over to Beaver Stadium. And I remember being dressed in my uniform, like getting ready to go onto the bus, but I'm standing outside by myself, and you can see Beaver Stadium from just outside our locker room. And I remember just standing there watching, the lights of the stadium. Like, you can hear people cheering already, and just, like, I talked about in the back of your mind thinking, were things worth it? At that moment, it's like, oh, hell yeah. Everything I've gone to this point, gone through to get to this point, it's all worth it, man. The hard work, the dedication, the commitment, the belief, you think of the doubters along the way. Not that I ever cared about their opinion.
But you had a lot of critics.
No doubt, man. Yeah, but there's critics with anything that you do. But, like, it's just, like, I just smile. Like, I was right.
Yeah,
I was right. Not patting myself on the back, but
yeah. So how have you dealt with critics throughout your career?
I don't care. I don't. What is what it is. You know what I mean? It's obvious there's big responsibility that comes with playing, not just football, but the quarterback position. And playing the position, you get a lot of the credit that you don't deserve. But
then, you also get shit on.
Things go bad, you're going to get
fault.
You're going to get the blame. Yeah, it's your fault. And being me, a preferred walk-on and an undrafted guy in the NFL, like, I make a bad throw. Well, that's why he's a walk-on, or that's why he's an undrafted guy. Where it's like, dude, apparently you just missed a touchdown. I just threw, or so, something like that. Like, I'm here for a reason, man.
Right.
Like, and I always struggled, like, with that, like, and not just myself, but, like, some players, certain players. It's like, yo, I'm part of your program. I am part of your football team that you cheer for, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here busting my tail to try to win and try to play, be a good teammate. and you just, like you said, you're just getting like crapped on. Like you can't get over the hump sometimes. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to play, man. You know, I just wanted the chance. And like the only thing that I cared about was what my teammates thought of me, what the coaches thought of me. You know, you live in this little bubble. It's like you live in this own world, right? We 2012, like that was one of our mottos, ignore the noise, right? I don't care what's going on out here. I don't, right? Because I need the respect for my teammates. That's what I do it for. You know, I can't let those guys down every single day. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know, you try to find ways to use it as motivation. I guess, but it doesn't, man. Like, you know, I understand people like now being in like, you know, the radio world or the broadcast world. I know people have a job to do. I get it. You can't like everyone. You got to find the negative somewhere. But nobody can be as hard on me as I am on myself. Like that's what it comes down to. Like same stuff you're saying, like I know, okay? Like I know I have to get better. I know I can't throw that ball, you know, into cover 2. All right, I know I got to work this side, you know, versus cover 3. I know I got to throw it. You don't have to tell me. I know I messed up, man. And guess what? If I do it again, I'm not going to be playing. Somebody else is going to be in there doing it. Like I know, man. Like I know, but you can't, you know. So but
So what was that? You know, obviously I've been to a bazillion Penn State games as a student, and now I still have season tickets now. But you know, what was that atmosphere like actually on the field, hearing the fans? Like, what was that like from a player's perspective?
It's hard. You can't. I mean, how can you describe it? You know,
you really can't. Like I know. I try to tell everybody. It's like from a fan's perspective. I always try to like explain what that feeling is like in Beaver Stadium.
You know, I think of like a couple games. Like when I think of like that, like I had the chance to play my rookie year with the Raiders. I had a chance to play Thanksgiving Day at Dallas, and it's like playing on a stage. You know what I mean? It's not even like a football game. Like you're on like a platform, like on a stage, is what that felt like, and that's what like that Michigan game felt like. Like it felt like the field was like I got uplifted, like on a stage or on a platform. You know, you're surrounded by, you know, the sea of white. There was a whiteout. The lights are so bright, you know, and it's just like again, that's like a different world. Like it's like nothing exists outside the Beaver Stadium walls. But you're focused. You're doing your job, and like you ignore it, and then you score, and like you're like, all right, you know, you get excited, you look around, but then here we go again. You know what I mean? You're just so dialed in and you're so focused to what you're doing and what your job is that it may be loud. There may be 110,000 people screaming, but you don't hear it.
You just kind of get in a zone.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of cool to hear it from the other perspective. You know, I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to ever ask, you know, a player like, you know, what it was like.
Certainly different on the road. You know, when you're playing on the road. Like
what was that like?
Oh, man. I mean,
rough.
Had the chance to play in a lot of great stadiums. You know, like, you know, I was a backup quarterback in Oakland. So Kansas City was one of the loudest places I've ever been, like ear piercing.
Louder than Beaver Stadium? Really?
Well, to the Penn State fans listening, I won't go there.
No,
I'm not going to go.
We're going to cut that part out.
But like ear piercing. Seattle was really loud. The only time, like, at least maybe I just made this up. I don't know. But I threw 2 pick sixes in the Horseshoe in 2010. I could have swore after the second pick six, like the field was shaking. Like that's like how loud it was. I felt like, yeah. So that, but I was, that was crazy. But yeah, man, like that's what's great, you know, and you know, even like those college football atmospheres, they're so different, they're so unique, they're so special. You know, to have the opportunity to play in, you know, a lot of those games on the road, man, it was awesome. You know, and those, like, not comparing the two, you know, college and the NFL, but like those college atmospheres are just they're special, man.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
And so what was that transition like for you, going from, you know, playing college to playing the NFL? Like, what was the level of the game like? What was that like?
Well, I was like, here we go again. You know, I was kind of in the same position I was
when you started.
At Penn State, right? For walk-on at Penn State. Here I am, an undrafted guy, 4th on the depth chart.
So you're always like an underdog, scrappy guy.
Yeah, but again, that's the same thing. I'm like, listen, I'm just looking for an opportunity. That's all I'm doing. And like, I made the most of it, like preparing every single day as if I was a starter. Like, anybody, like I've always felt like this. Anybody that doesn't tell you that they don't like compare themselves to the players around you, they're lying. Because I was always nervous, like day one was like, all right, do I have it? Do I still have it? Can I still do it? Can I still do it at a high level? How do I stack up against this quarterback or this quarterback? And like once you get on the field, once you start throwing, it's like, oh, here we go. I'm good.
I got it.
I got it.
It's back.
I got it. And like just the confidence builds. You start to feel good, and then you're like, here we go. Let's compete. Let's go. And that's what I felt in 2013, right? Just had to slowly, learn how to, play at an NFL level. Like there was early on, there was days I didn't even get a rep. I'm just standing back there. But mentally, like I was taking myself through the whole entire process. Slowly started to get reps here and there. And then, flash forward into the season, I ended up starting 6 games, as a rookie, which was crazy. But it's just, that's the NFL, man. Like it's, and like I said this, like this is what happened. Like this is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. I always wanted to make sure I was prepared. That's it, right? Because there's no excuse for that, right? I need to be prepared every single day because you never know what is going to be thrown your way.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit more? Like how you said you work so hard, and I think that's real important. Like when exactly what you said, the preparation and the opportunity, and like how do you then execute on that high level?
Well, I think so. Like I didn't have the luxury of making mistakes every single day. I couldn't do that. Like I wasn't a guy where we're heavily invested in this guy, so we know it's going to take time for this guy to become a good player or to become the player we think he's going to be because we think he's got a ton of potential, right? I'm not a huge fan of that word because, like, what is that? This guy, this is what he could develop, and maybe one day this is what he could become. And it's like, all right, well, that's great, but, like, what are we doing right now? Is he good right now? Can we win right now? Can he play right now? So if I got a rep, I had to make the most of that rep. I had to be right with everything I do because I couldn't mess it up. Because there's that excuse of like, well, this guy's on draft, doesn't really matter. He's not. We knew he couldn't do it. So there's proof.
There was less room for error.
I never wanted to give anyone the satisfaction of saying we knew Matt McGloin couldn't do it. Like that is what drove me, right? And if you were gonna cut me from the team or I wasn't gonna play, well, then it was gonna be because of a poor performance. Like I just couldn't. You know what I mean? I played bad. We lost. I threw 2 interceptions. I struggled, whatever it may be. But it was never going to be because of a work ethic or a lack of preparation or anything like that. I was never going to like fall back on that. Like it was.
So where do you develop this work ethic?
I don't know. I don't. Like I said, man. It.
Because for an athlete and somebody playing on a professional level, I mean, it's totally different.
I think, it goes back to, I think, my family. My parents worked extremely hard throughout their entire lives. My brothers have worked hard throughout their entire lives. I don't think that I get to where I was if I wasn't born in Scranton. Honestly, like if I wasn't from Northeast PA, I don't think I'm able to do what I did mentally at Penn State, be able to do what I did mentally at the Oakland Raiders, right? Just that tough mentality, bring your lunch pail, go to work every single day, that blue collar mentality, right? To continue to fight for what you want, fight for what you believe in, man. And, that was, that's where I got.
That's it, Scranton.
I think that's it. I really do. The support that I got from the area, and to this day is incredible. It really is. So like when you're battling, you're going through tough times, that's what you think about. You think about your family, think about what you've gone through, you think about the support you get from back home, and the people that enjoy watching you play at West Scranton High School or play at Penn State or play at the Oakland Raiders. Like those are the people that you think about, the people you care about, and the people that support you. Again, man, that's Scranton, that's Northeast PA. So I've always thought that was the biggest reason as to why I got where I was. So lucky, man. Yeah, very fortunate, and my wife and I are, our family, we live in Northeast PA, to this day. And
and congrats on your second son.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. We got we have a 3-year-old now and a 2.5-month-old, so 2 boys. It was funny, these helmets. I have some framed jerseys and stuff like that, like some footballs down in the basement, and got like a little man cave set up.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like turning into a big toy room now
for the kids.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So my 3-year-old likes to put the helmets on, which is like that is such like an awesome thing to see. Putting the Penn State helmet on, running around. He puts the Raiders helmet on, and runs around. It's like, that's another one of those moments where you're like, oh man, everything you gone through was worth it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit of life after football.
Yeah.
So kind of went from NFL, XFL, and now you're back in NEPA.
Yep.
So what are you up to?
Yeah. Back in NEPA, we bought our house here. Gosh, almost 6 years ago now, which is crazy. And we bought it when I was playing in Oakland. Just because the NFL, the business, it's like not very stable. You just don't know what's next. So we bought our house here. We knew this is where we wanted to be. I majored in broadcast journalism at Penn State. So I've been doing a lot of radio work for SiriusXM, ESPNU, Big Ten Radio. Started calling some games for Big Ten Network last fall. I've got a couple of things that I'll be doing for Big Ten Network here in the spring. So that's the world that, I've been trying to get into, or I want to continue, to get into, again, and it goes back to just, having this knowledge for the game and just doing my best to try to help people understand what the players are going through, what the coaches are going through, what's going on in this situation, what's going on in that situation, what should we expect them to do here. It's a fun game, man. I love being in that atmosphere. That game day atmosphere, man. There's nothing like it. Now it's different going to the booth as opposed to going to the field, right? There's nothing quite like that feeling. But, being in a stadium where there's 90,000, people, man, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah. Well, what would you say is the best lesson that football taught you about life?
One of the things I always when I get asked about my career and things like that, one of the things I always think about is consistency. It's the same person every single day. I have to be this person every single day, right? 100% every single day. It's a commitment. You're dedicated to it. I can't have an off day. As a quarterback, I can't have a bad day, right? There's great days, but you need to have a good day every single day. Otherwise, you're not going to be playing very long. And that's, some of the things like that I've taken into being a husband every day or being a father every single day. Like, here we go. I have to, dedicate everything to my family every single day, give 110%, be the same person day in and day out, and try to get better every single day. It's exciting, man. But, that's, it was like, I understand it's football. Like, I get that. You know what I mean? I know that. But the lessons you learn from it, and it's just, you don't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the way I feel like, but the path that I've taken, again, I'm very fortunate because things I've learned at Penn State, things I've learned from Joe Paterno, things I've learned from Bill O'Brien, and then the coaches I played for in the NFL, things I use every single day in life.
Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with any of the guys you played with at Penn State?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That senior class we had, that 2012 class, Mike Zordich, Mike Mowdy, Mike Farrell, Pete Massaro, Mike Yancich, Jordan Hill, and the rest of those guys. I know I'm leaving a few guys out. I apologize, but
a great group of guys, though.
That's what I talk about it all the time. Like, people are like, what a great team. What a great team. I'm like, you know what? We were good football players, but we had great people. And that's what separated us from everyone else. Like, it was just the right guys there at the right time playing, the right guys there at the right time coaching. Nobody, this doesn't happen on football teams right here. Guys didn't care how many reps they got or how many plays they got or how many carries they got or catches or tackles, whatever. Everybody just wanted to contribute in any way, big or small. Bill O'Brien, and his staff, Craig Fitzgerald, our strength and conditioning coach, I don't think he gets enough credit for the job that he did. Building our team down, breaking our team down and building our team back up. They found a way to have every player on that team embrace their role, big or small. Like, it was one of the most impressive things I've seen, because that doesn't happen in football. Usually you got a guy that's like, oh, I want more carries, or I should be playing over this guy, or, I should be getting, more passes thrown my way, or guys didn't care. Offense, defense, special teams, whatever. As long as they were contributing, or we had guys on our scout team that went extremely hard for us every single day. You know what I mean? Like, that you don't like.
It was a different camaraderie.
It was just different, man. It was a special year. Guys wanted to be there. Like, we had fun lifting, every day. Like, we used to run this big hill at Penn State. That was terrible, but we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Craig Fitzgerald had like a 50-yard sand pit built. Like, they built it for him. We used to do sprints in that, dude. It was terrible.
Oh my
God. But we enjoyed the competition. Like, we enjoyed doing it every day. Like, it was fun. It was a fun year, probably the most fun I've had playing football.
So that was like the best year.
Yeah.
Under probably the most pressure at that time too.
I mean, that's, we kind of built a bubble around ourselves, around the facility, we supported one another. We took care of one another. We just kind of focused on the task at hand, just one step at a time, one day at a time. You think you had guys wise beyond their years as well. Just kind of understood, what was at stake. You knew you were playing for something more than football, and you accepted that responsibility.
Yeah. I think that's an important statement you just made. Like you said, playing for something more than just football.
And it wasn't just us. Like, I talked about myself, like thinking about my family, people that support you and stuff like that. And like, I couldn't have done that without them having my back. And that was the same thing with 2012. Like, there's no way we're able to do it without Penn State fans, without Penn State alumni, Penn State students, former players, just people reaching out and saying, we got your back, we support you guys. We had, during summer workouts, we had like an open workout one of the days. There's thousands of people there. Like,
that's awesome.
It was, dude, one of the best memories I have at Penn State. It was like an hour-long workout. That's it. But thousands of people showed out.
You remember that stuff.
Yeah, thousands of people showed out early in the morning, and I remember, like, as soon as like you open the locker room doors, like they were just lined up, and like we were walking up the sidewalk and like high-fiving everyone and stuff like that. Like, they were like 4 or 5 rows deep.
Yeah. Wow.
But it was awesome. It was
cool.
awesome. Man, that's Penn State. And I know I went to Penn State, but I don't know if that happens anywhere else across the country in college
think
football.
so. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I think ties kind of back in with Scranton too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
That mentality, that work ethic, that drive and that grit,
the support, Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've just been very lucky. Again, I talked about, I grew up in Northeast PA, right to Penn State, right to the Oakland Raiders. Just, being around great people, great program, great organization. Again, that's the best thing about it is the people you surround yourself with every single day.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Very, very, very fortunate.
Yeah. One thing I'm surprised it took me this long to ask you about it, but you got your Dunder Mifflin shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah, great choice.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, we're like all throughout like the NFL, that was like, hey, McGloin, where are you from? I'm from Scranton, man. The Office, huh? I'm like, yeah, The Office.
So you got that joke a lot.
Like
everywhere
anywhere,
you went, probably,
anywhere,
right?
yeah, anywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you also have your own podcast now. Tell me about it.
I do. Yeah, we do it's called Pay Dirt. It's a Penn State football podcast, and that's what we talk about. Majority of Penn State football in season. We'll talk a lot about who's Penn State's playing, like their opponent, things like that. We'll do a little breakdown. We started in August, and it's been great. Reception's been great. It seems like people are enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah,
that's just like I said, man. It's another way to stay involved with the game, stay involved with Penn State football. Every Wednesday we release an episode. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can find podcasts, we're on. It's fun. I enjoy it. I love breaking the game down, talking about the game, man. It's a little opinion based, show sometimes. But it's fun. No doubt.
And you have a co-host, Tom.
Yeah, Tom Hannafin,
Yeah.
former WWE, ringside announcer. He's now the play-by-play announcer for Impact Wrestling. So, and Tom's a Penn State guy as well.
Also another Penn State guy.
Yeah. So,
How did the two of you meet?
yeah. So I used to do an old podcast called The Underrated Hour, where we talk just a lot about sports, football or NFL and stuff like that. Like, that was fun. Knowing Tom was a Penn State guy, I was a big wrestling fan. I still am a big wrestling fan. Growing up in the Attitude Era, of wrestling.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about, talk a little wrestling on the show. So I reached out to Tom. Tom, you want to talk about your career, how you got to WWE, what that process was like, what you're doing now, how, the journey throughout professional wrestling has been. And he was like, of course. So, we had him on the show. We kept in touch ever since the show. I got podcast company named Believe, B-L-E-A-V. I'm not sure if you heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
Reached out to me about doing a Penn State football-related podcast, and I was like, that's great, but I would like to have a co-host, somebody to help drive the show. They're like, absolutely. So I knew Tom was just transitioning from WWE, trying to get more into sports. Reached out to Tom. He's like, absolutely, would love to do it. So we've been doing the show since August. But it's good. Like I said, check it out. YouTube, Apple, Spotify. It's fun. It seems like people are enjoying it.
Yeah, really cool. And you're also involved in the community. You have the Matt McGloin Foundation.
Yeah, we work with the Scranton Area Foundation. We've been doing it for a few years now.
So why did you start it?
It's important. It's important to me. The area is important to me. Northeast PA is important to me. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad was president of Lackawanna Little League for a long time. So, like I said, just kind of seeing what he did, having great people around him and just, doing great things for the community and for the Little League and stuff like that. My dad worked for the city for a long time as well. So that was important to me. Everybody uses their platforms in different ways. But that was important to me to do. And again, the support has been great. Our golf tournament has done fantastic every single year. And any dollar that we raise stays in any PA. Like most recently, we've donated money to St. Joseph Center to help build a handicap accessible playground. And one of our more recent donations was to Ruth's Place in Wilkes-Barre, the women's homeless shelter, to help them fund a new kitchen. So, it's that's been great. And again, the support has been fantastic.
Yeah. So when's the golf tournament?
Be mid-July this year.
Okay.
We're just finalizing a date now. But it'll be at Glen Oak. But that's been great. It's fun, man. I stink at golf, but
well, you're probably a lot better than most.
I don't have much patience.
You were a 3-sport guy, right?
I don't have much patience, so I think you need a little patience to play golf.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I play golf, I got to get out early in the morning. It's kind of one of those things. I'm not a fan of playing at like noon and getting off the course at 5 or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing, it's got to be early. I prefer playing 9 holes over 18 holes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as I get older, I'll enjoy it more. But yeah, man, it's time consuming too.
It's too slow.
Yeah, it's slow.
You seem like a fast-paced guy.
Yeah, I am. It's slow, but like I said, I can play 9 holes no problem. But once you start to get to 18, it's like, all right, are we almost done here? And it's like,
is this over?
If I'm like on shot 6, 7, or 8 or like that, I'm like, I'm picking up. I'm done. Just let's move on. It's yeah. But cool. I feel like I could be good.
I think you could be,
but I'm not willing to make the commitment to it.
It's too much.
So it is. It's too much.
Yeah, nine holes.
It's an expensive hobby too.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like skiing. I don't even ski, but I feel like skiing's an expensive hobby as well. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I mean, what else with the foundation? Is there anything else you guys are looking to do new or?
We'll see. Usually we try to do our best to at least do one big thing, a year that, the proceeds from, the golf tournament, go to. But check us out. We're on the Scranton Area Foundation. Read more about it. it'll have, as we get going here over the next, few weeks, it'll have all the information for the golf tournament, stuff like that. So we have a Facebook page as well.
Cool.
So yeah, check it out.
Very cool. So so what's it like? You're settling down now, back in NEPA. You got a family. How does it feel to be, kind of back home? And
it's always good to be home. Like, it's not like, that's one of the great things is that, it feels like it never changes, right? And that's what I enjoy. I love being around family. My wife's from Pittsburgh originally, so it's 4.5 hour drive, when we want to visit her family, or if her family wants to drive up here. Family's important to us. But it's good. It's, I haven't had too much time
to really take it all in.
Yeah. Just not to take it all in, but just, I've had too much time not like playing, football or a sport or something like that. Like I retired in 2020, so it's been almost 2 years now. But just trying to stay involved with the sport as much as I can.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, kind of how do you do that? Because, I'm sure you're probably like so driven. You want to, you probably almost like want to play again, right?
I mentioned patience. Like, I don't have any of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I say. I've been doing Sirius XM for about 18 months now. I called a couple games for BTN, but it's like, all right, what else? What else we got? What else can I do?
Give me something more.
Can I keep going? What else? You know what I mean? And I understand it's a business. You kind of have to work your way up, in it. But yeah, I understand I have to get better at it as well. That was one of like the harder parts of calling a game was like, I'm seeing 15 different things, but I got like 8 seconds to get it all in. So like I'm trying to tell what the quarterback's doing here. Here's what the offensive line's doing. Wide receivers trying to do this. Running backs doing this. Here's what they're doing defensively. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I've always wondered, like listening and watching a game on TV and hearing those announcers. Like, do you have like cheat sheets in front of you, like, or like how does that all happen?
So there's like a big board, like a big call sheet board, and it'll have,
because like I'm not good with names.
Yeah,
and
the
like,
big call sheet, big board, and it'll be like 3 deep, like on the depth chart. So
okay.
you'll have like a center, backup center, third string center. I mean, you have a 3 deep depth chart there. So
you got a lot going on in front of you.
One of the games I called was it week 2 or week 3 last year? It was a Maryland Howard game, and like the end of the third, fourth quarter, like the game was way out of hand. So at that point, you're trying to make conversation. Basically, you're talking about, hey, this guy, he's from New York originally. He had a lot of scholarship offers. You know what I mean? Now he's trying to work his way up the depth chart here. They really believe in this guy. They think one day he could be a good player. So you talk more about the players and their backgrounds and things like that, rather than, what's actually happening on the field sometimes. But yeah, you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared for anything. You got to be prepared for that as well. Like,
yeah.
I need to have something. Like you need to always have something.
There always needs to be like a little thing over here that you can throw in.
You always have to have something ready and always have to have something prepared.
Wow.
But it happens so fast. You know what I mean? You're like, who is that? What number is that? You can't. Like, you can't. So like if
you can't really screw
can't
up.
see the number, you know what I mean? And the play-by-play analyst, he'll have like a spotter. So like if 52 makes a play, boom, right there. He's pointing right on the call sheet, 52, so the play-by-play guy can go, tackle number 52, Matt McGloin, like that. So like, boom, and then I know, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And so, and it helps being able to talk to the coaches the day before the game. They talk a lot about the players. They talk a lot about the process, what the week's been like. So if you ever need a little something there, I go back to like a quote. Coach has talked a lot about what he's done, leading up to this game, how well he's prepared.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You have that little bit of background knowledge kind of going into it. So.
Yeah, you always have something.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It's
hard.
Yeah.
It's fun though, because you're not thinking. You're just here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm seeing. Like
just go.
You're not realizing either that you're talking to.
You're not really processing. You're just kind of.
Yeah, you're talking to how many thousands, 10,000s, I don't know how many people are watching the game. Yeah, you're talking to a lot of people, but you're just going, the game flies by too. Like next thing you look up, it's like, that was the end of the first quarter already. Nothing happened. Or like, or like a lot happened, and we're just talking, but it's cool. It's fun. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Nice. So what do you think's in the future for you? A little bit more broadcasting?
I like
else?
to. Yeah, we'll see. I wish I knew, man, but that's where it's at right now. Continuing to do the radio. Like I said, I've got a couple things for BTN here. Once once like the spring season kicks off, which will be fun to get into. But we'll see. We'll see as we get going here.
Cool. Well, this is great. It's been fun having you in. I appreciate you taking the time, and we gotta give another little shout out to Bob Courtwright for for helping make this thing happen.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and
Yeah.
obviously I've been best friends with his son Brian for almost my whole life. But yeah, thanks to Bob for for setting this up, man. This was a blast. Appreciate having me on.
Yeah. How can our listeners connect with you online?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Like I said, the podcast, Pay Dirt Podcast, Penn State Football Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. We're all over that. So.
All right. And before we end, we are
Penn State. There you go.
Matt McGloin on the Stacks Podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.